This podcast is rated TV PG for fantasy violence and language. Welcome back to Star Wars Birth of the Republic tabletop role-playing game. Episode 4. I'm Kirk, and I will be your storyteller.
I am Andrew. I play Hakru, the Zabrak Scout.
I'm Eric. I'm playing Lashara, the Bothan Noble.
I'm Greg. I'm playing Dodd, the Human Scoundrel.
Yeah, I'm Seth, playing Jad Marketa, the Rhodian Scoundrel.
This is Mary, and I will be playing Rura, the Tagorian Scout.
Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Birth of the Republic. This is episode 4. And last time we went to a planet to grab some Tor. Or to drop off some Tor for the residents of Dagi. Along the way, the old lady Lena that was put on the ship to keep her safe was discovered doing some meditation and manipulating of the Force, which caught the attention of both Hakru and Lash. And she talked a little bit about it and what her grandmother had taught her a little bit. And this triggered Hakru into a state of panic, while Lash basically took to the teachings that she was basically putting out there. So that led to a little bit of interesting Hakru hiding up in the rafters, I guess, of the ship until they landed, at which time they arrived on the planet Dirktiel and the Throgan construction facility, where they met a gentleman who was wanting to buy the Tor from them for a larger price than what had been put out there. They met Harrow, was the president, runner, owner of that construction company, and he had basically gotten you guys some grenades, an old used E-Web repeating blaster, and he was in the process of getting some hydroponic units, home gardens, and a water pump. While you guys were there, he told you a little bit about what he knew about a group that was basically forcing him to stop his construction company in the area of using Tor for his materials. They were wanting to collect taxes for him using it, and then it just kind of dried up. You guys also found out that his supplier of Tor was who you were originally going to sell the Tor to, but one of you decided to look on the Hollow Web and found out there was another buyer out there, and that was him. You guys got 16,000 credits, half of which would go to buying food. What else? He offered to install it, but it won't be in for a little bit. He was wanting to know if he can get another shipment of Tor, And in exchange for that, maybe not paying as much, he could upgrade your ship for a much reduced cost. While you guys were leaving, there were some strange people with a patch on their clothing. They weren't wearing the same clothing, but they both had the same sort of patch. One was on a vest, and I think one was on a shoulder. And they were kind of watching the spaceport and or your landing pad specifically. And I think Dodd and Hakru got spotted while Lash kind of walked in and didn't realize what was going on. I believe that's how it happened.
Yep.
It was Hakru was not spotted.
I might have run into him.
Maybe
I
that's
have
what it was.
it listed that Dodd was for sure.
Yeah, it was Dodd and what is your Jad?
Jad.
Jad. Yeah, Dodd and Jad.
I ran
Those,
right
those
into
one syllable names.
Okay, so Lash and Hakru.
I say Hakru was like one with the darkness.
Okay. And that's
I
pretty much
switched dice because I was rolling way too high last time.
And that's kind of where we left
I
off.
ran into him, but they didn't recognize me. They recognized somebody else coming back to the ship.
I
I thought.
thought Lash just kind of came on and didn't realize what was going on and went right to the ship.
Yeah, Lash walked right on in. Dodd was the first one back, and they saw him.
Right. And they didn't do anything.
Right, and they didn't do
that's right,
anything.
yeah.
Then Lash walked right past them. They didn't even see her.
Right, they didn't spot her.
She might as well have just teleported into the ship.
Yeah.
And then Jad had a... he tried to be stealthy. It didn't really quite pan out for him.
I thought one of them saw him, but the other did not.
Yeah.
Yeah, one saw him, one didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't we say something to them? Like there was this brief conversation, wasn't there?
I don't think
No.
so.
No.
I don't think anyone
we kind of like
Oh.
half listened.
I remember we had asked someone about the patch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a little meta. I don't think Lash knows anything about it, but
Yeah, I think it was Dodd, like, got on the computer and asked the owner about it, the construction owner about it.
yeah.
But then, then Hakru
Yeah.
came in, and I think, like, they technically saw Hakru when he boarded, because it was one of those, like, going up the plank, there's literally
Yeah.
nowhere to hide.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
you,
what
But
I'm
up
remembering.
until then,
Yeah.
absolutely not seen.
yeah, you guys called back to Harrow and asked him about the patch. And he said he remembered that insignia on someone who was trying to basically strong arm him into paying more money to use Tor. So it's all sort of connected up somehow. So,
And then Kirk, I was supposed to get another feat.
yeah.
In the meantime, and then I had a question: is the E-web, would that be considered is exotic weapon or heavy weapon?
That is a heavy weapon.
All right,
I
then I'm
believe.
going to take weapons proficiency in heavy weapons. Where'd my pencil go?
And you're a scoundrel?
Yes. Why not?
We haven't leveled up, have we?
No,
No.
not yet.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't really. It was like, yeah, we've done 3 sessions, but I mean, like, you think about it in terms of these kind of games. Usually, it's around combat. That's how you really get your XP.
Yeah.
And we've really only had
Just-
one real combat session
Yeah.
where we really just ran.
Yeah, the space battle and the gunfight.
That's because we're level 1 and combat isn't so good yet.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was because none of us are soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I
true.
think I'm the most combative class as scout, and I'm a Heidi sniper scout,
Yeah.
and wasn't there
Yeah.
for Significant. It's just,
Yeah.
Well, Lash is trained in how to use her weapons, but it's always been theory and practice. It has never been like
Right.
actual combat.
Yep. All right. Auto fire. Where's the heavy weapon?
All I found was weapon proficiency, and then it has a a dash next to it. I assume that means to put in heavy or pistol or
Right.
simple weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just ignore -5 penalty on the attack roll with the weapon.
Yes, I believe so.
And a crew now has a jetpack.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that should be added to your character sheet too, the jetpack.
Yep.
All right, auto fire. Yeah, there's a whole thing about auto fire you need to read up on if you're going to be using this thing.
Okay.
And this thing needs 2 people to operate. It needs someone constantly messing with the power generator as a standard action while it's being shot. So it has to be regulated first, and then it can be fired, I believe, the beginning of the next turn.
Okay.
If it's not regulated, then you get a -2 on all attack rolls made with the weapon. So, auto fire is a whole nother bird.
All right.
Yeah, it's in the thing. You'll have to look it up.
Okay.
Actually, the jetpack is not on my sheet.
It's not on your sheet. It is on the digital sheet below the images of your character sheet.
Ah,
So
oh,
you
I
can
didn't even
actually
know this
click
thing
on
was
it.
down here.
Yeah.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. So you actually click on it and see what it is. It's not the same as a Mandalorian pack, which has other things attached with it.
Oh, yeah, no. This is this is the basic of base.
Yeah.
I have no currently Hakru has no intention of getting beyond that. He just thinks they're cool.
Yep. All right. And you guys took off from the planet and basically jumped into hyperspace, and that's where we're opening up with you guys in hyperspace. And you've got. Is there anything you guys wanted to do in the meantime? Because I know it was another day jump. So.
I wanted to not fail that perception check and warn the construction guy that these dudes were on their way. But I missed this check, so
Okay.
can't do it.
Oh, Hakru during this travel time was going to be fixing the e-web because the guy was saying it wasn't altogether there. So
Correct.
Hakru had just, for the party, had bought some parts to upgrade and fix weapons or various mechanical items.
Yeah. And I think that's on Jad's sheet. I believe I put it on there. Well used, needs some parts. I think that's all I put down. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to need, to get it up and running with the parts you have, it's going to need a 20 mechanics check.
All right. Ooh, since I'm taking like a full day to work on this, can I just take 20?
I'll have to look at the mechanics. Because some stuff you can, that's why I was starting to put everything in the wiki.
Right, and I thought because I'm not trying to like hotwire or anything like this. Like I'm seriously sitting down, taking my time.
Yeah. Let's see, mechanics.
I mean, I'll roll it. I just need to get a 12, but it's a slightly like a 60-40 chance of making it.
You can take 10 or take 20 on a mechanics check. When making a mechanics check to jury rig repair, you can't take 20. So you're just basically repairing it, not jury rig repair.
Right, just repairing.
Sure.
And I've got parts.
That's disabled device. Modify. Well. Well, is jury rigging just fixing it? Booby trap, mechanical enhancements, that's all BioWare. Repair object. You can spend 1 hour to make a DC 20 mechanics check to repair a damaged or disabled object, restoring 1d8 hit points, removing any persistent conditions currently affecting the device. If you're on board a damaged vehicle while attempting it, penalties for try. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's just a DC 20. You're just going to roll the 20 sided to make sure you don't get a 1, basically.
Okay. And yeah, I've got the kit, so I can do this.
Okay.
So. All right. 10, 18. So nope, that first hour, not fixed. And basically I'm going to repeat this every hour until it's fixed.
That was taking 20. You rolled a 1?
No, you said I couldn't take 20.
Yeah, you can. You can spend 1 hour and make it DC 20. Yeah, it's only if you're doing some jury rig.
Oh, okay.
Wait, repair object, repair.
Because I thought taking 20, it basically was like rolling a 20, but it takes an extended period of time. So if it already takes an hour, it would take more than an hour if I took a 20.
Right. I think a repair object it's listed somehow. I put it under repair modified droid, but it should be by itself. Damage disabled object. Yeah, so you can spend 1 hour to make a DC 20 mechanics check to repair a damaged or disabled object, restoring 1d8. Or you can take 20, as long as you're not jury rigging it. I think that means like in the space of really quick, like on the fly. So you're taking your time.
Jerry rig is like if it broke down in the middle of combat,
Right.
I would have to jerry rig it
Right.
to keep it going.
Right. So just roll a d20, make sure you don't get a 1, and
Yeah, I'm good then.
okay. So it does take you a few hours. You spend all day, kind of pull it apart and start putting it back together. You find out that some of the stuff there was the wiring that goes from the power box to the actual thing had been frayed inside. It looks like somebody else had kind of fixed it, but they did not fix it all the way. So take it all apart. One of the cells inside the power unit had to be replaced. You replace that. So it should be back up to working order normally. D8. Yeah, it doesn't matter on that. You spend all day. So there are a couple other things, and you just basically got it shined up and ready to go. All right. Anybody else got anything they're going to do in the meantime?
Lashara is going to meet up with Lena again.
Okay.
And just spend some more time with her, again, tapping her for knowledge.
Okay.
In a very respectful and soft way. She's totally intrigued by this new knowledge of the Force.
Yep. Her training, or what she's going to be teaching you basically, is how to levitate small objects. So a teacup, that sort of thing. And it'll progress up throughout the day. So it's just lifting the cup up and bringing it to you and moving it around. Then she actually wants you to start picking up the teapot and pouring it carefully, and that sort of fine-tuning it. So
would it be allowed for Lashara to ask about the Jedi or the War? So you said that she picked up that hollow data book,
right,
and it talked about the War, but it didn't really say much about the Force or it probably mentioned the Jedi, but it didn't say anything about how they fought or anything like that. Would it be reasonable for her to ask Lena about that?
Yeah, if you wanted, you can sit down with her and go over it. Most of it is new to her, and it seems like it's a perspective from a non-Jedi who was not privy to what they were really doing. So there's a lot of fighting styles or jumps or spins and things like that were recorded, but nothing in depth, like a whole fighting style.
Do they mention lightsabers?
Yes, they definitely do bring up lightsabers. How does she react? When they bring up lightsabers, she mentions something about her grandmother having a lightsaber, but she doesn't. She kind of just goes on. She's seen one before. It was her grandmother's, that sort of thing. But she's basically engrossed in this hollow book or whatever it is that you're showing her. And she said, she pipes in every once in a while, like, I heard about that battle, but we never saw or heard any, experienced anything firsthand. It came from people that had moved on to the city that would come back and tell tales around the campfire and things like that.
Okay, so at this point, Lashara is finding out some information, but it's all still, legendary figures and legendary actions.
Right.
And then some history of the war itself. So, okay, that's good to build off of. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just a couple battles. You don't get any names of individual Jedi or anything like that because apparently they didn't know what was going on. Like, they would show up on a planet and fight. And I think at the time when this war was going on, there were like thousands of Jedi and thousands of Sith. So if there were names, it would be lost to time or whatever. So,
okay.
But yeah, so go ahead and do I don't think she's. You can take 10, but you can't take 20. So you can take a 10 on the Force check while manipulating the Force to do the tea ceremony, or you can just try and roll it. It's up to you.
Okay, I'll just roll it. So this is a use the Force check?
Yep.
22.
That is really good. So the whole afternoon of the tea ceremony, you have been able to do it with precision and not a drop spilt, and she's really impressed. And while you're doing this, she is also doing this as well to see if she can build her skill in it, because she really hasn't played around with it a whole lot.
Okay.
And you can see right away that you're sort of, I don't know if it's more naturally inclined, but you're picking it up quicker, where she's still having trouble doing the little stuff, the fine motor skills with the Force. She's not really good at. So, but yeah, the rest of the day goes by with you guys doing this. Hakru, you're in the cargo bay working on this thing, and go ahead and roll use the Force.
Yay! Sorry, I muted myself because I wasn't involved, and I was just curious about the take 20 thing, so I was looking that up. I just put notes in the chat if anybody's interested. Apparently, taking 20 means you take 20 times longer.
Yeah. So it takes
that's 20 hours
day.
of repair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oop, fell off. And damn, use the Force. Okay, still. So I rolled an 18. Apparently, her crew is really good with the Force.
Yeah.
Is really Force sensitive.
So while you're going
20
through
total.
Yeah. So while you're going through your repairs, you keep getting images of this tea ceremony pouring itself, and it's very calm. The other thing you're starting to pick up with the 20 roll is that these images that you're picking up, and the images you picked up on the ship the other day while they were messing around with it, have a sort of a warm orange glow feel about them. And whenever you remember the stuff that happened to you on the planet, it is cold, it's pain, and it's green. So this is definitely a different aspect of what you've experienced. So,
and I doubt it makes a difference, but I mismathed. 18 plus 8 is 26, not 20.
So yeah, so you're definitely seeing this as it's happening in real life, and it's sort of coming to while you're working and just zoning out. You're just thinking about it. This tea ceremony on the ship, and the everything's being moved with the Force. And you're seeing Lash sitting there doing it, and then across from her on the table is Lena doing the same thing with her own tea set, but it's not working as well. She's not able to control it as well. So, as long as you don't flip out and stop doing your repair mechanics roll, then
no,
it doesn't come on sharp. It just sort of like washes into your thoughts, and then before you know it, you're still working on the repairs, and you're seeing this happening in real time.
Hakuru would probably like this. Actually, if anything, really speaks to why Hakuru is taking such a long time to fix this, because he's really like slowing down and really having to focus and really stamp down some memories. So he's double and triple checking everything.
Yep. Also, while you're doing this, at one point, you look over and you're thinking about what you're doing and trying to concentrate on, I've got to remove that part over there and I got to do this. And you look over it and the part is lifting itself out and setting itself down. At least one part does that, especially with a 26. Like you go to reach for it and it's like comes to your hand.
So when that happens, Hakru just like, he sets that part down and he goes work on a different aspect of this. He's like,
Yep.
no, not now.
Okay. Nanot comes over the comm system and he says, we're almost to the planet. Anybody else want to come up for the landing?
On my way.
I'm going to run up for the landing, too.
And it was like you said it was a day, right? So Hakru's finished working at this point? Or am I still working?
Yeah, it's 24 hours have gone by. You guys have slept a little bit.
Hakru might still be asleep because if he had to be awake for 20 hours to work on this thing.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, Hakru's asleep.
Roughly.
We'll go with
We're not doing exact time on exactly 24 hours, but
Yeah.
it's roughly a day.
I'm literally going to run because I want to get to the co-pilot seat.
Shotgun.
He heard you stumble.
You're running through the ship, and it looks like Leto is moving toward it. Let's do a dex.
Dex. What's my dex?
It's just a modifier for your
Wondering
dex.
if I should
All
roll
right,
a
I just have to
perception to
find it.
see if I hear Jed coming. Because
17.
17.
Rushing to get there, I will also rush to get
Yeah,
there.
you hear clumping. Are you in the same quarters? I can't remember which quarters. Who's in what quarters?
No, I'm in the other one.
Okay. I think it's on the other side of the
Yours are
ship.
actually
I thought
closer.
me and Jad were in one, and then Hakru and Dodd were in the other.
Yeah. Nanot's got his own. Yeah, you hear the lumbering through the ship, and you come up to Leto and make a nice little like spinning dodge, like out of the way, and then keep running as he's floating toward the pilot's chair or co-pilot's chair. Land in it, and you see you guys come out of hyperspace in this big planet. It looks like it's got a lot of cities on it, and there's quite a
I
bit
always
of
love that part.
there's quite a bit of traffic going in and out. So this is a pretty busy spaceport compared to what you've been to the last couple days. And they have a big spaceport, several of them across the planet. But you guys know this, the one you need to go to from the last time when you picked up the foodstuffs in the first place. And so down through the clouds, mountains, greenery. It's a pretty normal planet. Big sprawling city with big skyscrapers, not as big as Coruscant, but there are a lot of them in this city. Land on the dock. And Nanot's flipping some switches, and he says, I think I'm going to get out and kind of tool around the city a little bit. Leto, stay here and make sure no one gets on board besides us.
What planet is this?
This is Jusso, Jusso. Hopefully it's in the wiki. Or I forgot to put it in. No, I forgot to put it in. Let's see if I can put it in real quick. It's in there. I just have to put it on the main page. Jusso. All right, so if you refresh your main wiki page, you should see it on there.
Okay.
Jusso, I guess.
Yep, I see it.
All right. You guys land, and this is a landing pad that is specifically for this company, which is the Modolfo Food Corporation, I guess. And the last time you guys were there, you noticed huge shipments of food being loaded up onto transports, like big transports, and sent out. This company really supplies food to large cities in mass or to worlds at once. So this is a huge operation, like 1,000 times bigger than what you're picking up or being shipped out every day, it seems like. So you guys land on this little tiny pad that you think might be for like personal spacecraft, as opposed to the other giant landing fields that are around where these big ships are docking. And you guys get out, or is anybody who's staying behind?
I'm gonna go and handle the procurement of the goods.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to come with me, Dodd will get up and look around the cabin and go, I guess I'll go do our job, and start walking towards the gate.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
Okay.
And I'm also gonna say, hey, when I was sitting in the co-pilot seat, I noticed this is a Type 2 atmosphere. We need breather masks.
Oh, good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hakru is going to be asleep.
Okay.
Because the way I kind of see this is like he just worked around the clock, stayed up,
Yep.
way later. So we probably put in between
Probably about halfway
picking up
through
everything
sleep.
and getting there. He's probably awake for over 24 hours.
Yeah.
So he's getting a good solid sleep in during this point.
Yeah. So you got about 4 hours of sleep
Yeah.
to go. All right. So Lash, are you staying behind? You going with?
I'm reading about the planet here. Is there? It says, talks about there's trade, manufacturing, and whatnot, but it's just mostly just an agricultural and technology based on agriculture.
Yeah.
Or is there like shopping districts and things like that?
Yeah. These cities are huge.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, it's got a huge starport which has merchants, offices, things like that. So a lot of people are actually based out of here. And anything that says Imperial, we're going to say that is galactic, because it came from a generator. So an Imperial class starport is a galactic class starport.
Okay. I'm going to see if Lena wants to venture out with me to kind of sightsee and or shop.
Okay. She says yes. I haven't been off planet but once before, and this would be a nice time to see things. So she agrees. All right. Is there anything you were looking for shopping wise?
Let's see. I'll tell you what. If you want to jump to the other guys and let them go deal with the business stuff, I will kind of think about that.
There's a tram lift that goes throughout the city, and it's similar to what they had on your planet, so it's easy to sort of figure out. You got to pay for a ticket, get on, that sort of thing. So you guys go off in that direction and wait for the next train to come through. So we have Dodd and Jed, who are going in. You guys start walking toward the facility, and you see a familiar face. His name is Bix, and he's just a humanoid. Overalls. He's got the logo of the Modulfo food on his onesie, and he holds his hand up and has a pad in his hand and walks over to you guys. Another load, huh?
Yeah. Same as last time. Same size, same everything.
I don't know what we do without you guys.
Oh, please. I look over at the giant hauler next to me.
Huge.
Yeah.
He says, "Come on in here, and we'll get it squared away." And it's sort of like an open sort of hangar to the building itself, where you think the private ships of the people would come in and land, as opposed to outside. And you guys go in, and they're sort of going over everything. Make a perception roll, both of you, or perception, both of you.
12 plus. Uh, 20.
20.
13.
Okay. Jed, you're kind of just paying attention to what he's doing. You're looking around a little bit. But Dodd keeps catching out of the top of his eye as he's looking at him. There is a second floor that's kind of attached to the ceiling, and it's all windows. And it looks like living space, office space. You're not sure. But in the middle is a huge screen on the wall, and there's a desk in front of it, and there's a person that is sort of messing around on looks like a desk computer almost. And then this music starts thumping and thrumming and doing its thing, and it seems like it's not bothering anybody that works there, but it'll go for a little bit, and then it'll stop while you're talking to Bix, and then finally you kind of zone in on it, and you see it's a woman, and she is working on the desk. Then the music stops, then she gets up furiously and starts walking back and forth and pacing, like putting her hand on her head and like doing stuff, and then she goes back to her desk and does some more stuff, and then gets up and starts throwing her arms around and like stops for a second over at another desk, and she turns back and goes back to the main thing, types in some more stuff furiously, and then the music sort of restarts, and this keeps happening over and over and over. And Bix is signed off on Jad signed off on the paperwork because he just kind of held it out, and finally,
I'm looking up.
Yeah, it's entrancing with what's going on. There's no real lights going on except for the screen that you're seeing this sort of strange program that's running, and every time she's typing stuff, like these things are coming into being, and it's almost like a 3D environment she's working in. Bix eventually like catches you out of the corner of his eyes and says, "Do you like what you hear?"
I mean, I'm not sure. It keeps starting and stopping. I'm more concerned about the process.
She's been working on that. She's been working on that since yesterday. It's kind of her side jam, I guess.
Huh.
Do you want to?
What's her
Who's
name?
she?
Do you want to talk to her?
Yeah, I think so.
Come on. He puts his pad down on the one of the bucket
I
crates.
shrug. That was easy.
As he's walking toward the music's going, and it stops again, and says, "This is Arella. You're going to meet her. She's the kind of chief in charge of logistics of moving the stuff. Not someone else is in charge of acquiring all the foodstuffs, but she really sends things out.
She's the distribution manager.
Yeah." She's really critical of her own work, and you guys walk into a little lift, and it kind of closes. And he says she can use some encouragement and a break. She's been working on this since yesterday, kind of nonstop, unless she's stopped at night.
Exactly that she's working on.
She's always working on music, which she puts it out there to the HoloNet and to see who likes it or who uses it. I don't. He's like, I'm not sure if she gets paid. So this is kind of her personal thing.
I know this feeling.
The lift door opens up, and as you guys walk out into this nice little hallway, it's carpeted. The music starts going again, and it is loud in here, and the doors are not even open yet. Things are vibrating slowly. It looks like there has been there's some stuff sitting around outside, and there's rubber like little feet that have been put on everything to keep them from, I guess, moving off the tables and off the shelves and things like that. And he walks up and pushes the chime on the door and sits there, and the music's still vibrating and vibrating. He shakes his head, and he puts in a small code, and the door and when the door opens, it
Blaring.
fills up the hallway, and everyone's chest feels it. Everyone's ears, I mean, it is loud. And he
I'm regretting coming up here.
your things go back. You guys walk in, and he starts yelling, Arla! Arla! Ah! And as soon as he says it the last time, the music stops, and she starts typing, and then she kind of jumps. She goes, God, Bix, what are you doing? He says, I'm just bringing some folks up to see. This is the people working another run for Daggy. She stops, and she turns around, and she pushes a couple buttons real quick, and then she walks over to you guys. She says, nice to meet you guys. You guys are kind of my feel-good project going on here.
Well, I like hearing that. How about you, Jad?
Yeah, aim to please.
She's like, I'm so used to just shipping this stuff off to planets, and it's distributed, and we never see a face on it. And it's totally different to be shipping to such a small group with, I know at least one of the people personally that's benefiting from the food. So,
Oh yeah, who's that?
that's Pana. He's the guy who contacted me
Okay,
a
good
couple
guy.
days ago. Really nice guy. He really talked me into helping him. I wasn't really going to help him out because it really falls way beyond our radar, but just something about him. He's a really nice guy, really genuine. So decided to
So
help
I'll
him
tell
out.
you, Arla. Arala? Is it Arala?
Arala, Arala. Yeah.
Yeah, Arala. So I'll tell you, Arala. They're kind of in over their heads.
Huh.
Yeah, it seems as though there's a kind of an organized crime outfit that has been extorting them for the last several years. So, your assistance is huge to them.
She turns
So-
back to her table and kind of shuffles through some pads that she's got, and she pulls one up and she goes, "Is this the Tatari we're talking about?"
How did you know about that?
Yeah.
She turns and hands the pad to you, and you see a whole readout of information. And you see the Ripper's name come up on a few of the paragraphs. And she says, I was a, how should I say this? Bix, I'll show him back. And she says, "You can go now." He turns around and kind of smiles and walks off, closes the door. And she goes, "In my past, I was a slicer. And so it's still kind of a habit of mine to look into things and to check things out. And I been kind of keeping an eye on them." She says, "I've heard about the Tatari. I knew what they were kind of doing to them. And all of a sudden, the name of the Ripper came up since you guys picked up that last shipment. And so you're showing up on their radars. And so I picked up a couple communiques where they have alerted to where you're at and what you're doing, and that you apparently destroyed a ship in orbit around Daghi, and so
Hey, they shot first.
maybe, but this is
Like a Rhodian. Just like a good Rhodian.
so. Yeah, I mean, I started investigating a little bit, hacked into a couple systems I probably shouldn't have, and the most I can get out of it is that there's a hut behind it, and that he has been unifying several local gangs into one sort of syndicate over the last couple of years.
Symbol that looks kind of like this, and I draw the symbol on the table from that patch that I saw.
Yep. And she leans over to the thing you're holding. She scrolls down a lot and then puts her finger stop. And there's several pictures with different people with that symbol in different forms, either on a ship or on a vehicle or things like that. She says that's the Tatari symbol.
Okay, so I thought that maybe we'd have a chance at giving these people a break and an opportunity for some independence. But if the huts are involved, organized crime.
Again, this is one hut that has been that I couldn't find the name of, so I don't know if they've done much until now. But
Yeah, but a hut is a hut is a hut. I grew up on Nar Shaddaa.
yeah, so
I have to agree with my associate here.
she says right now that's a bunch of thugs that are basically working for a hut. There's been no putting out of official gear or anything like that, training. She says it's so far what she's been able to see, it's kind of a shoddy ragtag group at the moment.
Well, the guy that was harassing the tribe itself seemed like a professional.
Maybe.
I would even go as far as to say he's a hitter.
Might be. So she says, but I don't know how big the organization is at this point. So, you may have tripped upon one person who was more qualified than everybody else around him.
Well, this is how you can reach me. And I slide a I don't know. Do we have business cards in the future? In the past? The past future?
I think you could just it would be like
Here's
on
my
a
com code.
digital e card or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Right. This is how you can reach me. Look, we're trying to do these people a favor. I would consider it a favor to me if you could let me know if you hear about mobilization or if you find out who that HUD is.
Sure.
Because
And it seems like you guys came up on the radar at Dagkey, and then just yesterday, it looks like you were spotted on another planet nearby. So they're kind of watching. She says, from what I can figure out, they're watching the Throgan Construction Company. They may have been watching them before you guys showed up, and then when you guys showed up, there's been a lot of back and forth about that.
So those guys I ran into.
the patch, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says you might want to hack your transponder system and see if you can generate some aliases that you can use. Because right now you guys are reporting as the Ripper on everything when you're flying in and out.
Wouldn't know how to do a thing like that, but I think we can handle it.
She turns around and goes through her desk. She said, I thought I had a thing here about how to do it. I can't seem to find it right now. She says, I've got too many computer systems. That's all. I got too many computers. That's all I can say.
I think I can. I open up my my. Wait a minute, just a sec.
Do you have a data pad? Is that what you have?
I have a data pad and I have a security kit. And so I open up my jacket and I show her the security kit. And I said, I think I'll manage.
On that data pad?
No, the security kit.
She says, I think I have a portable computer that I've upgraded a little bit. It's a little more formidable than normal. Do you want to buy it? I'm going to get
How
off.
much?
They go for about 5,000 normally, and I've upgraded this thing so it's smarter than most computers. So I can give it to you for 5,000.
It's pretty generous, but we're kind of on a tight budget right now.
Okay.
I appreciate it though.
Okay. She says I also have this interface visor if you want that. That'll only charge you $1,400 for that.
How much money do I have anyway?
I don't know. You guys just got paid.
Yeah.
Where did I write that down?
I know I've got about 1,830 credits after I spent some, so I think we all got around 2K.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I've got 2,200 written down. So,
Okay.
but
She says the visor, I've modified it so it doesn't look like a visor. It looks like glasses. Where most computer interface visors are like a helmet or something that sits in your head, and it's very obvious you're wearing one.
1,700,
1,400.
1,400.
Yep.
I will roll a negotiation skill check.
Okay.
I'm going to try to. I'm going to rely on the fact that I know that she's got a heart, and we're wanting to help these people out. I have rolled am I rolling persuasion or?
I believe so.
Okay, so I rolled a 12, so I got a 20 in all.
All right. I believe it's persuasion. She says, I could go down to 12. She says it's modified, though, so it doesn't look like you got... Like you're
I
not
can
walking
see
around
the
with
benefit of it. I just don't know that I can afford it. I'm trying to help out a tribe of people who are about to get their teeth kicked in by a Hutt syndicate. So
Go ahead and roll again.
we got 14.
She didn't roll much better.
Okay.
She says 1,000. That's the lowest I can go.
All right, 1,000 it is. I'm gonna give her 1,000 credits.
Okay.
I'm gonna take this thing and put it on my head.
Yeah, and that gives you a +2 equipment bonus on all used computer checks.
Okay, cool.
All right. What else would she have?
God, that thing looks funny.
Yeah, it looks like Google Glass, that the one she's got.
I mean, the one where the guy in the commercial was sitting around the park, around all the pigeons, and he's going, buy, sell. God.
She takes back her pad and looks in. She says, "Looks like the patrol they have running over Dagkey are on alert for you guys." So she says, "I would definitely mess with your to something else, anything else, or turn it off." And she says, "Turning it off's really hard, but spoofing it is not as hard."
Right. I'm sure we'll come up with something. Got some know-how. Really, what I'd like to do is I'd like to know who this HUD is. Could I use that computer for a second?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. I've got to gather information, and I've got use computer, and both of those are skill level 8. So.
All right. Let's look at used computer. Because I believe this uses the intelligence of the computer as a modifier. Access information, your attitude, and different better. You think it'll take you about an hour, and it's going to be a DC 25.
Oof.
Yeah, because this is private information. This is something that's not
Right.
been put out on the web. She hasn't really dug into it too well because it was not being usable.
Jed, do you think it's worth it for me to spend an hour trying to figure this out?
No, I think we got to get back.
Okay. Then I'll try it remotely later.
Okay. She says, I'm just going to be going through my music. It's up to you all. So, detecting high space, use communications, sensors. Oh, we'll have to look into like slicing and stuff, if that's what you're really. But yeah, that's what it is right now for the basic, just kind of going out there.
Okay.
Well, I say we should get back. I'm assuming that they have our load ready to go and we can get it on board.
Yeah, they're moving it on to the star pad or the flight pad right now, so it'll take them a little bit to load it up. So it's up to you guys. If you guys want to wait there, if you want to wait on your ship, that's up to you.
Yeah, if you want to, since we have a little time, might as well use that time trying to look up the hut thing.
Okay. Then I will do that. And on second thought, let me see that. And I put the goggles on, and I pull out and I roll, and I rolled a 16 plus 8 is 24 plus
Oh,
2
shit.
Oh,
for wearing
yeah.
Google Glass, and that is 26, my friends.
Nice.
There you go. All right. You are.
Kirk's like, shit, you're not supposed to know this yet.
No, that's out there. It takes you a little bit, and you keep running across the same name over and over and over.
So it may not be the right person, but they're at least associated with them, for sure.
You keep coming up. You keep hearing 3 names that keep showing up from different areas in the mid rim, and one is Kuka, Kuka.
Kuka.
One is Shaba, Shaba.
I have some of his records from the 90s.
And the other is Ramesh, Ramesh. And they all seem to be a hut that's working in the mid rim and seems to be meeting with some of these groups or is seen with some of these groups.
Okay. Well, at least that's something to go on. I give Arala the yeah, I'm kind of a slicer too nod, and I give her the information that I've got,
Okay.
like to as if to say, hey, look, this is what it looks like based on what I'm seeing. Maybe this will help you find something down the road.
Okay.
I'd really appreciate any information that you come up with, and if I can, I'll find a way to even pay you for it.
Nice. All right. Sounds good. I'll keep this computer around for a couple months before I sell it off. I've got some other stuff to do to liquidate first before I get my next. She turns around to her desk. My next big computer, bigger processor and everything. So.
Gotcha. Do you have can I get a data tape of some of this music?
Sure. She puts in a chip and then hands it to you.
Okay. I look at Jad and I say, I think our crew's going to love this. And
He might. I sure don't.
grew up in the world, man.
Yep. All right, so you guys go back out. After this, it looks like they're kind of finishing up loading up the Ripper with the last bits of whatever it can fit inside. You guys got a lot more than you got last time. So
Cool.
the cargo area is definitely...
And Arala, they definitely have taken an interest in taking care of these people, huh?
Yeah. With the 8,000 you guys gave them to use to buy food. Basically, the storeroom is filled ceiling to floor. The speeder and everything, you can't get to it, or the e-web now, because it's packed with stuff. So.
Oh, good. Is Nanat around? You said he was going to go tooling around the city.
He is not around.
Okay. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to use my meager piloting skill. Go up to the Nava computer once we get back. I'm sorry, Jed. If you wanted to do something, let me know. I don't mean to step.
No, I'm going to start grumbling and cursing and moving crates and boxes to pull the e-web out.
You cannot get to it. It is literally buried behind floor to ceiling stuff.
Oh no!
Same
planned this.
Same with the speeder. They shoved everything against the walls as best they could, and they filled up everything. There's no way to even walk through. There's not even rows.
I imagine him and I are getting there, and I'm looking at this big stack of stuff, and I'm like, and I look over at him, and he's like this.
Yeah, it's crates full, and they use lifters and stuff to get it in, so everything is compressed in. Even your little loader thing is up against the wall, turned off because there's no room.
And Leto is able to get through though, at least.
No, it's floor to ceiling. So once they close up the back, like that's it. No one can even be standing really back there at all. Like you open the doors from inside, and it's crates. So
I'm gonna head over to the Nava computer, and I'm gonna find out if Harrow's encampment is on the way back. Do we go past it on our way back towards Dog Key?
It would be another. You can go.
So it's a triangular route,
right? You can go one day back to Dog Key, or you can go a day back to Harrow's, and then a day back to Dog Key.
All right, then I'm going to use the holonet and try to reach out to Harrow.
Okay.
But I'm going to try to spoof the line so that it doesn't use our transponder.
Okay.
I'm going to try to appear to be someone else.
That would be a used computer roll 20.
Okay. Ooh.
You're basically encrypting the message.
Got the 14 plus 8 is 22 plus the 2 for wearing my. I got to call it something other than Google Glass. They're going to nail our broadcast. But,
CIV. Just call it the CIV.
Sure. CIV. Isn't that something else? Anyway, all right.
All right, so you're seeing this, you're encrypting it. You could basically just send a one-shot message out that's encrypted, and when he gets it, it'll de-encrypt itself. So it's not going to be a back and forth.
Okay. The essence of the message is, Harrow, This is Dodd. No, erase. Go back. Harrow, this is your friend. We spoke the other day. I noticed a group of people that I mentioned to you. Did a little bit of research, and I think that they're related to the folks from Nar Shaddaa. If you know the meaning, I would seriously consider watching your back. These guys may be better organized than I had initially suspected. And I said it.
Okay. All right.
Just like that with like my forehead is the only thing you could see on the screen.
All right.
So
All right. It sends off. So that's another hour messing with that, getting back. I guess we will flip to Lash and Lena.
Okay.
I'm gonna step out for a second.
Okay.
So Lash, so they're going to take the tram to whatever kind of shopping district there is, and the first thing she wants to look for is she likes clothes, and apparently she's going to ask Lena if she likes clothes as well.
She says she likes clothes, but hers are fine. She would feel strange wearing brand new clothes or colors or anything in the village where they're at. Think of your old grandmother that doesn't really get dressed up or anything like that. Like she's happy. She wouldn't mind like new shoes or something like that, but she doesn't want like a cocktail dress sort of stuff.
Gotcha. So she says, "Well, let's see what we can find. I really feel like I need to show some appreciation for the time and effort you've spent on me in the last few days." So she goes in and they see if they can find something that they like.
Okay.
And she's going to buy them for her.
Okay. Basically, what she is kind of pointing out is bolts of fabric that maybe she can share with some people in the village, that sort of thing.
Okay.
It's not a lot. It's like one or two that the fabric's what really gets her excited, and you see her wheels turning about what else she can do with it and who she could help out and that sort of thing. So she's thinking a little bit about herself, but she seems to be thinking about two other families that have a little less than what she does.
Okay.
They got kids and stuff.
I'll buy her a couple bolts of those of the fabric.
Okay.
Any idea what that would cost? Just a couple credits.
Yeah, 25 credits for the total.
Okay.
It's hardly
and then
anything.
Lash finds a fairly regal dress
Okay.
that she wants to purchase.
Okay.
Let's see. What would that cost?
Is there a thing for fine clothing?
I couldn't find it.
Or is it just clothing?
She is building a wardrobe a bit to use.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm after here. Meeting with, she wants to have clothing to meet with our scum and villainy friends, all the way up to royals or something that we might run into.
Yeah. What? Gear?
I couldn't really find anything on clothing.
Who's the Red Dawn girl in Solo?
Oh yeah.
Not Red Dawn. Whatever it is. Kira?
Yeah, Kira.
Kind of like her. She's got all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Camouflage poncho. Let's see if we can get to that. It's all under survival gear. So a camouflage poncho is 125. And that's the stuff that Luke and them wore, so it's pretty basic. So I'm going to say probably about 500 to 1,000, depending on what you're really looking at.
Okay.
And an all-temperature cloak is 100.
Yeah, I have one of those.
So it really just depends on how much you want to spend on it, really.
She'll just spend 500.
Okay.
Okay. And then She also wants to go to the local food market and buy dinner for everybody.
Okay.
And spend. I did find some stuff on that. She's going to spend about 150 credits for some what they consider luxurious food for
Okay.
everybody
Okay.
for supper. And finally, she wants to see if there is either like an antiques store or an old bookstore or something where she can again continue to try to gather information on the Force, the Jedi, the War.
Okay.
Even if she can find relics of the past or things that she can study.
Okay. You find a small antique shop located. What you're in is an outdoor mall, basically, that is made up of several buildings that are stories high. So everything's on the outside, all the openings, and there are glass elevators and things like that that are going up. But this is like a big city street that is all shopping for like 5 stories up. And in the back alley of one little corner, you find this little tiny shop that has no automatic doors. It's a you have to go up and actually turn a knob and pull open a wooden door, which is something you haven't seen in a very long time.
Okay.
And
she's going to take Lena in there too.
Lena doesn't seem that interested when you find the place, but all of a sudden your radar's going off, and you got to get in there and at least look around and see what's going on. Inside, it's kind of monochromatic and dark. A lot of wood, bookshelves, tall drawer systems, low light, musty smelling. Smells like rotten wood a little bit in some areas. Fungusy maybe in other areas, a little moldy in other areas. This place has all kinds of stuff. I'd say let's make a perception roll. DC 25.
I just rolled a natural 20. Let me look at...
It doesn't matter. It
Gotcha.
gets what you're looking for.
Yeah,
you find what looks like a scroll case, and you pull it open, and inside is a map, and it looks like it is a local map, so it's not the whole galaxy map. It's like an area of it, and it might take some time to like puzzle where it goes into. And there is some sort of, it looks like the drawing looks like a very rough stone structure that is to be found on one planet. And is there any writing on it? There is writing on it, but you can't make it out.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, she would. I'm gonna use. I'm gonna make a use the force check.
Okay.
On it, and kind of meditate on it for a second. Let me see here. There's something in particular that. Force. I gotta find. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. I think it's just search your feelings.
Yeah, that's what it is. Search your feelings.
So it's a DC 15 force check.
Okay.
It will yield favorable or unfavorable results to you.
I rolled a 13 plus 4. So 17.
Okay. You think this is important. You feel kind of drawn to it, and you're not sure why.
Okay. I would like to purchase this from the shopkeeper.
All right. He says 95.
Okay. I don't even haggle. I just make that deal and move on.
Okay.
After that, I have bags of clothes and bolts and food, and I think I'm gonna head back to the ship.
Okay. So I'm going to say you guys were gone for about 4 hours. All the shopping, the running around. I mean, this place was huge. You get back on the tram, head back with your bags and everything, and about the time you get back, you're getting off the tram and you see Nanat sort of coming up from one of the lower areas, and he's got like a box of something he's carrying in. And he kind of looks over you guys and nods as he's heading back to the ship. Did you have a successful buying excursion?
And she's kind of almost skipping. She's pretty happy with what she found with the dress, and she feels very happy that she's been able to show her appreciation to Lena by buying things for her that make her happy. And so she tells Nanat, "I had a wonderful time. This place is magnificent." And she kind of turns her head and winks at him a little bit. "I bought dinner."
Very good. That sounds like that's going to be nice. And spending 150, I think, is an exotic, like top tier level of food that you can buy. So it's more than enough for everybody.
She's kind of stupid with money because she's never had to worry about it before.
Yeah.
So I'm just spending money, which is probably not good, but that's her.
That's all right. He says, "I found what I was looking for, so I'm ready to go if everyone else is." And he's walking toward the ramp and stops and lets the ladies go up first. Gets on board. It's been 4 hours later. It's about the time Hakru's waking up. Dodd and Jad were both sitting on the ship for a while, at least 2 hours. Is there anything you guys wanted to do in the meantime?
Yeah, I'm gonna start dancing around with that transponder. I think it's better to ask forgiveness than to ask for permission.
Okay.
In this case,
that is a mechanics roll.
Mechanics.
Yep.
All right.
And I think that's gonna be like a DC. I think it's like a DC 30. It really is hard because it's tied into the engines. It's not like a device.
Possible roll is 28.
That's without a force. Use the force. I mean, without a force point, right?
Or assistance.
Right.
Or assistance. Yeah, that's highest possible. Maybe I should.
You don't know.
Once I realize that I open up the thing and I go.
Well, go ahead and roll because it's one of those things like you don't know until you're rolling, so you're already sort of in it, messing around.
Okay, I'll do that.
And unless you roll a 1, you're kind of okay.
No, not a 1.
A 2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
the
tool
total
around.
is 12.
Yeah, you tool around for a little bit.
Into it that I'm like
I don't know where this
I
is.
better go get Hakru and maybe Leto.
Okay.
I go get Leto first, and I say, "Hey, Leto."
He says, "Yeah."
Oh, that's right. I forgot it. What is it you're needing?
Yep.
Anyway, hey, what do you know about the transponder on this ship?
The transponder is and he goes into the huge, like, technical
Whoa!
thing.
You think you can? You can make it appear to be something else? Maybe we could generate multiple transponders.
Says that would be illegal, but
Yes, it would.
I think
say.
I think it might be safer if we could generate something that makes us look like we're someone else.
That sounds good.
He says, "Have you tried?"
Yes. I did not do a good job.
He starts floating through the ship to go back to where you're at, or where you were
Okay.
were at.
As I watch him exit, I furrow my brow, and I think I should consult Hakaru on this. So I go to Hakaru's door and I ding the chime. It's my room too, but I ding the chime
Right.
anyway because I figure he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figure at this point in time, like Hakaru has just started to wake up and he hears the ding and he's like, yeah.
If I hear anything, do I hear anything?
You hear
Perception?
some running. Yeah, go ahead and roll that.
16.
You hear some rolling around noises. You don't hear anything distinct.
Push the button.
Door opens up. The light from the door is the only thing coming in the room, and it's like right on his face.
Hey, Hakaru.
Yes,
I got something for you. And I hold out the chip with the music on it.
he takes it. And
No. You put it into
only
a computer.
joke. What the hell is this?
It's audio. I met an entertainer in the city. Plug it into a computer with a sound system, and you'll get to listen to the music. I thought you might appreciate it. I don't know what kind of music you listen to, but it was pretty fierce and kind of savage. Reminded me of you.
I'll happen to have been
Wow.
walking by the
Really big
room on
thing.
the outside
Yeah.
and just say, wasn't to my taste, guys. And just keep on walking.
Anyway, so I have a project. I was
He's
wondering
just
if
holding
you
the
could help me
chip.
with.
Just
So some really bad folks are thinking that us helping out these people on the planet, Doggy, is a bad deal. And I feel like they might be ganging up on us to do us some real bad. It was suggested that maybe we change the transponder on our ship to something less us, so that maybe we could slip in and out of the planet a little more easy without attracting a lot of extra attention to ourselves. I talked to Lado, and he seems to be interested in trying to get it done. I tried to do it. I didn't do a great job, but I've seen you do some pretty amazing stuff with machines. And I smiled really big again.
I am not entirely sure what a transponder is, but I am willing to work on your faith.
Ah, well, that's the spirit. Let's go. I turn around and start walking towards where Lado was doing his thing.
Hakaru just kind of looks around for a minute and then like finds the table and then finally sets the chip down. The whole time he was just holding it. Like you said music and like he kind of like raised an eyebrow. He's not heard this word before.
I figure, okay, so in Dodd's mind, he's thinking Hakaru grew up in the backwaters of backwaters. He's not even sure where you grew up or what it was like.
Further
But
back.
he figures, yeah. But he figures, like, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that's really farthest from, right? So he's probably not heard modern music.
Oh yeah, no. He doesn't. This is going to be
So-
fucking hysterical once it happens.
Right. Yeah, so I thought it might be kind of cool. It was, if he was reading Dodd's intentions, they were earnest.
Yeah. No. Hakaru totally understands that this is a heartfelt gift.
Okay.
Like when you're, it's almost like when your grandma like knit you a sweater and it like is your size and is warm. Like you're like, okay, cool. But at the same point in time, it's a sweater.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, I make my way back to the panel where Lado's probably fixing whatever I screwed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand there and expertly look at what's going on,
Yeah.
rubbing my chin and nodding expertly.
You walk back and he has got lots of panels off and he's kind of floating around and an arm goes out and like grabs something and twists it and he goes back in. He says, well, I know it's in here, but I can't seem to be able to get it to change.
Hakaru just walks in and goes, we work well together. Let's do this together. Always better together.
Lita says, all right. And he starts rattling off what does he know? He understands that you're like
Intuitive.
intuitive, but not technical. And he starts going off on the technical thing that you got to do to be able to spoof a different ship. You got to give it an identity, basically, and it's the imprint from the engines that gives this off. It's not actually a device that sends off a signal. It's like the serial number of the engines. It just radiates it out,
Like a footprint.
like a fingerprint. Yeah.
Oh.
And he kind of points to some of the areas of the engine that need to be tweaked to possibly change it. But what we would need to do is create 2 or 3 profiles that we can easily change with maybe a flip of a switch later on. That would give us the name of a different ship and give us the name of a different ship, with that. So,
Like multiple pairs of shoes for footprint. Okay.
right. Or masks.
No, masks are scary. Feet are nice. Solid. Give you place to stand.
So you think you've got a pretty good idea of how to do this. It will come down to rigging a system that can be easily adjusted or turned on or turned off, basically.
Are you guys hearing that music?
No.
No.
There's no music playing on yours? Like, my computer must be blasting something in my ears then. And I don't
I
know
mean,
where
like,
it's coming
if
from.
this was a Marvel movie, this is where AC/DC would kick in.
Yeah. This is
So-
really strange.
While you guys start doing that, you hear Nanat says, "Everybody on board? We're ready to go."
Oh, yeah, that was like, that matched for a minute.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from.
So,
The limiter in Discord is cutting out all music that you're listening to, and we're just hearing like a couple beats, and then it flattens it out. So
I got it.
that's what was happening earlier when you were listening to rap. Like, we weren't hearing it because the computer was leveling it out.
the limiter was, oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, is Leto taking the lead on this, or am I taking the lead on this?
He is not. He's got a 10 for mechanics.
That's probably better than what Crew's got.
Yeah, Haku's got an 8, but Haku also rolled a 20.
Right. But you also, yeah, but you guys as beings can also use force points, and he does not. He's not able to do that. So
Right. But with an assistance roll, as long as he
Right.
gets a 10 or better, I
right,
get a +2.
right, which puts
And
you at
so-
this level.
That hits our 30 if that's what we needed.
Right.
Unless I screwed it up and made the difficulty higher.
No.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is I rolled, like, you said we were doing this. I rolled, I hit 20
Okay.
plus my 8. There's 28. Did he help me?
Yes, he did.
Cool.
Okay. So you think you got it as the ship is taking off, you have it tweaked, and it makes it like the pitch of the engine changes a little bit, goes down, but the ship just keeps taking off and up into the clouds and everything. Doesn't seem like Nanat notices any difference. Nobody else.
Literally, they're labeled boot, shoe, slipper.
Yeah. Okay. So Leto's helping, and he's got an idea for routing it to the pilot seat, where there's like just a knob where you can switch, so that when you're doing something, you just flip it and change the tone of it. So it's got a neutral 1 and a 2 setting.
Yeah. When I just kind of see like when the knock comes in, it's just like all the panels are down. They're like her crew has just started running wires from one end to another. It looks just like terribly gutted and
Right.
patched together.
Right.
It's like, we'll clean. Don't worry.
Yep. Yeah, he's still up front flying. He doesn't seem to notice any difference.
What?
Yeah, it's not affecting the engines. It's just changing the harmonics of it almost.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's shut down or anything. And he doesn't seem to notice any difference. There's no lag or anything.
Oh, I thought you meant like he doesn't. He like sees the wires and stuff, and that just pretends like it didn't happen.
No, he's not even back there. He's up flying the ship because anybody
Right,
else.
'cause we're back in the engines,
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, you guys.
Okay.
You guys are in the meat of the ship and the heart of the ship. So
All right.
Gets to a certain point while you guys are in there, the hyperdrive lights up, and you feel that shift, and you guys go into hyperlight.
And our hair goes. Okay. Well, Hakru, that looks like you got it done, man.
Yeah, just like waves you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think between you and Leto, it's going to take a couple more hours to get it fully set up, but now that you've got the idea of how it works, it's easy to set up profiles, basically.
Right.
All right. I'm going to go explain to Nanat why Hakru had this really great idea to alter our transponder.
Okay. He looks at you like you have just figured out sliced bread, and you're explaining it to him. Like he is like, this is the best thing ever. We can now run under different guises and go into different places and do stuff and not be tracked. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know how to do it. Hakru did.
He's like, I've never even heard of that before. Like that's crazy talk.
Neither has a crew.
He's never heard of masking our transponder? Masking
No.
your transponder? Dude needs to watch The Expanse.
Yeah.
Anyway.
When you get some hollow novels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He basically got a ship for the first time like maybe 2 weeks before he met you guys. So his piloting is all learned on the fly.
He got it the week he met me.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, his piloting isn't like years and years of training under official, things. It's all kind of learning as he goes and everything. And he is a little bit intuitive to it too. But all right, so you guys are in hyperspace. You got a couple more hours to get this sort of fully set up. I guess this is the time when Lashara would want to make food for everybody. And Lena seems eager to help as well.
I'm going to put on some Rhodian music.
Oh, go ahead, Chad. Sorry.
I was going to say, I'm going to put on some Rhodian music throughout the ship and just announce this is what music is.
I love it.
What does Rhodian music sound like? Is it like banjos and like violins?
I see it a cross between banjos and whale songs.
Okay.
So it starts off low, and all of a sudden you guys are like, because you guys are listening to the harmonics of the engine, and all of a sudden you're like, did you do that? And Leto goes, hell no, did you do that? I didn't touch nothing.
Okay.
He sits there, and all of a sudden he computes. He says,
Why is the ship crying?
"This is." He says, "This is Rhodian music. I've witnessed this before. I witnessed this before on a planet a couple years ago."
Is this what Dad gave me?
He says,
He said he gave me music.
I don't know. I was on the ship the whole time when you guys took off, so he could have had anything on there.
No, I was on ship too. I was asleep. I didn't know what happened. I was asleep when we landed.
You want me to go get it? I'll go get it. He turns and floats off.
No. He's like, no. We stay. We work.
Stops,
We stay. We work.
Turns around. Says, all right. Just take a minute and I can play it.
We listen on break.
That sounds like a plan. He goes back to the little pincers come out and start turning things and messing with stuff. You notice while working with him that he doesn't seem to have a lot of internal tools, that he's got basically pincer hands and like a data port jack, and that's about it. Everything else.
Here's
he's
the question,
picking up.
though. Does the crew really notice that? Because as far as the crew knows, he's just a...
Right. You notice that he keeps asking you for tools, basically.
Yeah,
Just
and I
like you
hand him
do.
tools, like,
Yep.
I don't even think about it.
Yep. All right. A couple hours. Let's. What would food?
After dinner's done, Lashara wants to go and talk to Dodd, I
Okay.
think, and show him the map and see if he knows anything about the markings that are on it or how we might be able to figure out what it says.
Okay. I'll probably be picking out on the food that you created that I didn't realize that that you were the person cooking this whole time. So finish up something, and I look over at you, and I'm like, what's up, Lash?
Actually, Lena was probably cooking because Lash had things cooked for her. She tried to help, but I don't know if it was her party.
Roll survival. I think it's survival would be the closest thing.
Oh, that's not too bad of a roll. 18 plus.
Okay.
Just a 19.
Okay.
So,
it's enough if you're helping her to give her a +2. So she comes in, she rolled a 17. She's got 10 in survival. So 29 on making this food. It is crazy
you
good.
guys are eating well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you brought back has been cooked perfectly. And nicely seasoned and everything. It doesn't taste like any certain kind of cuisine. It seems like it's a hodgepodge of a lot of things. And she talks about it's food from when she was younger, when she, family members would bring stuff over and things like that. So
Well, I compliment the both chefs because I wasn't paying attention to the process.
She blushes.
So I guess while we're sitting there eating, I'm going to bring out that scroll case and open it up and hold the map up and kind of look at Dodd and say, what do you make of these letters?
When you open it up, you realize it's much older than you thought because of the bad lighting. Make a perception roll.
Okay.
Both of you.
I rolled a 19 plus. I am rolling way better today than I ever have before. That was perception?
Yeah.
25.
I only got an 18.
Okay. This thing is made out of, it's not paper. It's like a thin hide almost that has been tanned, and because of age, it's a little crinkly. It's a little crispy almost, but you're not sure what it is, but it seems to be made out of some sort of skin or hide. And it almost looks like it's tattooed on the information now that you're looking at it. But it is a small star cluster with 3 prominent stars, I believe. And it looks like it's directions to a temple maybe of some kind on a planet in orbit around the 3rd star.
Okay.
I believe.
So I said, let's see if we can. Let's grab the ship computer and see if we can find out using some star charts if we can find something that matches this.
This is going to be an
take a while.
astrogation star. I'm sorry, astrogation roll, and I think that's under knowledge, isn't it?
Okay.
I
do not have.
Right.
I have galactic knowledge, but not that.
My crew might have that.
I believe it's under that. Let me check real quick just to be safe.
Man, you got a lot of faith in the crew.
You seem to intuit many things.
Yeah, the crew doesn't know that.
Okay.
The crew has no knowledge. It is all intuition. Everything he does.
I was hoping I could use a gather information check to figure it out.
Let's see. Let me make sure. Let me find out. Okay, astrogation, travel. Okay, this is a use computer skill check. And this would be used if you wanted to travel through hyperspace without using a computer. Astrogator has no data with which to plot a jump. The base DC for use computer is 30. You must spend 1 hour calculating coordinates and vectors before attempting the check.
And is this something I can take 20 on?
I don't think so. Oh, you would just get a 20 on it. That's how that works, I believe, isn't it?
20 plus my skill, right? Because 20 plus my skill plus the Google Glass
Yeah.
puts me right at 30.
You must spend 1 hour calculating coordinates and vectors before attempting the check.
So it'd be a whole day worth of calculating.
Yeah, but I might be able to help you too. I'm pretty good with computers.
Okay, lack of nav computer.
We've got a navigation computer, though. Can we? Is there any way to just compare the charts?
Timer essence, full round action. Okay. DC modifiers for an astrogation check. Attempt to make the check in 1 round is a -10. No HoloNet access is a -5. No nav computer is a -10. Using a computer is just a +5. So, do not apply the penalty of the show. Okay.
So we have a computer.
Yeah. It's still going to be a 30. Let's see. Yeah, let me look at the used computer. You can take a 10 on used computer checks. You can take 20 on a used computer check, except when attempting to improve access. That's for just getting into a computer system. Yeah, I guess you could try it and then make the roll. Yeah. So it'd take 20 hours, then you make the roll to see if you've accomplished it.
Do we have that much time now, or do we need to?
You're just heading back, so it'll be cutting it real close.
Is that something you want to do, Dodd? And will me helping him cut back on either the time or the modifier?
Let's see.
If I just do a pure roll, I've got a 1 in 20 chance of coming up with the right number.
Right.
So.
Well, we're getting a +5 because we have a computer.
Right.
So that gives it a little bit more leeway.
Right.
Okay. So 8 plus 5 is 13. So I need 17 or higher still.
Yeah.
And if
16, 15 or higher.
And
so
if
I got a
Lash,
25% chance of success.
Yeah, and if Lash is using her used computer as well to help, then that would, if she gets a success, then that would be a +2 to your roll.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll. That was shit. That it's a 5 plus 7, so 12.
Okay.
It's more than 10.
Yeah, so that works on that. That's a +2.
Okay, so goggles.
Yep.
Put us at +4, +8 for my skill, which puts us at 12, +5 puts us at 17.
Yep.
So I need a 13 or higher.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you get?
Gotcha.
10.
Use a force point.
Use a force point.
Oh, yeah, I can use a force point. I will use a force point. What does that do?
That is, I believe...
It's interesting. We're looking for a Jedi temple, ostensibly, so using the force seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Force you hear in the background the French horn.
Hell yeah.
Force points, I believe, at the level you're at.
I'm level 17.
1d6.
Okay.
And add it to a single attack, skill, or ability check.
Here goes nothing.
So you need 3 or better, basically.
And I've used one of my 5 force points.
Yep. Did it work?
Yes, it did.
Oh, okay.
It was exactly what he needed. It was a 3.
Yeah. So the force was with us.
Yeah.
We are at the astrogation point where you have spent 20 hours going over charts with the computer and trying to figure this out. And for the longest time, the computer had no reference point.
Right. We
For what
probably went
these-
through the spectrum of frustration to excitement to
Right.
hope letting it down. But
Yeah.
Lash and I probably haven't spent a whole lot of time like bonding. So this is probably some good Lash and Dodd bonding time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, this is that amount of time is definitely bonding and an adventure, almost like, you know, doing an awesome jigsaw puzzle with your best friend or
Yeah.
something. You know,
Right. Right.
and
So Hakru and Leto working on anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jad's going to come over the loudspeaker and say, and that was the end of the first song. Now I'm going to play my second favorite song.
What do I got to roll to find out whether or not I like this stuff or not?
Ooh. It's all subjective, so
survival check.
Survival? Okay. No, that's the music I listen to.
let's
I don't know, it's just
see.
Like a taste. Is it like, give me a percentage. Like, what percentage likely is it that I like it? And I'll roll D100.
Boy, I don't know.
I don't know. How racist are you?
God, he's on a ship crewed by nothing but aliens.
Are you rebel? Are you rebel racist or imperial racist?
Because you're human. So you're racist.
Yeah, either way. just
I'd say-
throw a number up.
I'd say roll your perception.
Roll my perception?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perception. Oh. So 27.
Yeah, you'd like this. It's actually pretty good stuff.
Like, maybe at first I was kind of like,
It's not grating on you.
irritated, and it was like, I don't know. But now I'm starting to catch some of the sophistication
Yep.
and understanding the format of how the music comes together.
Yeah, picking
And
up
I'm
some
like-
nuances.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, Jad, turn that up.
It's up all the way.
Okay.
It's real quiet.
Next project we'll figure out how to boost the system sound.
Okay.
Okay. So
All
I
right.
like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. After listening to it while you're going through all these star charts, you find yourself kind of humming along with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So you find that this is a map of a star cluster that is in the outer rim. So it will take some time to get to, and there are no hyperspace lanes there. So it'll require some. You guys have got a lot of the basics down for where you're going, but it's going to take several jumps and turns and stuff like that to get there.
Maybe we can find a populous world where we can buy a hyperspace route
I
to
think
something nearby.
I want to say
Because in that time period, that was like a really big time field of work, as people would go out and create hyperspace routes.
Yeah. So this is going to be a little bit of flying to a certain area and then sort of not mapping, but seeing if there's any hazards and jumping again.
Okay.
And I want to say,
Found it.
let's see.
When I imagine that Lash, when we finally work this out and we can like pinpoint where it is, she jumps up and she grabs Dodd and she starts jumping up and down and saying, "Yeah, we did it!
Yeah.
Amazing work, Dodd. Thank you."
Oh, yeah, it was a team effort, man. Woman. Lash.
Let's see here. No investigation, galaxy map. I thought they had a pretty simple system for how far away things were in hyperspace. And I want to say
We're
it
not
was
going
like,
there right now, so it's academic.
Yeah, and I know that it has
Far.
changed a couple times. Like certain books, it would take them like a week to get from anywhere to anywhere, and other books it's instantaneous. And if it's the movies, it's just a scene change.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say anywhere in the deep core is not too bad. You guys are in the mid rim, so it's taking like a day to get here and there, but you're not too far away from stuff. But to go out to like one of the edges, I want to say it's going to take like a month to get there. You think, yeah. So it's going to be a big, nothing's going to happen.
It's a purposeful journey.
Yeah.
This is not. Oh, hey, we're kind of in the neighborhood.
Right.
Maybe we just stop by for a minute.
Right.
This is, all right, Lash, you're serious about needing to go here?
Right.
All right, let's stock up on supplies.
With it being that far, I don't think it's going to be a priority in any way unless some other thing comes up that points us in that direction for,
I don't know. I feel like this world, if there's a map to it, there's probably some good stuff to sell.
Oh, believe me, I want to go right now. Me, personally, want to go right now. Lash is like, if we get there, we get there.
Yeah. All right, so...
That's important, though.
So does anybody else want to do anything in the 20 hours it's taking to decipher this map? Besides playing music, and you think in the 20 hours you're definitely going to be done with the transponder system with a lot to spare.
Okay. So it's getting this transponder system. There's installing the switch up by the pilot seat.
Right.
Honestly, I'd probably be looking at Nanat if he basically go take my rotation as pilot.
Okay.
And then however much that eats up after that would be dinner or getting something to eat and going to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, about the time you are waking up is when they're kind of finished with their search on the map. And now it's fine. He's flying the ship for a little while, and he takes breaks just in general, and Leto, if he was up there, would watch, but it's okay you're kind of on autopilot when you're in hyperspace, so he's able to do some stuff, and it's not really that taxing for him. So is there anything you wanted to do, Jad, in the meantime?
I can't think of anything that he would need to do right now.
Okay. So I guess the next morning comes along, and Nanut's waking up and basically says, we'll be coming out of hyperspace in about an hour. And Lena gets up and starts making some tea and breakfast, a light breakfast for everybody.
I'll stroll into the breakfast and grab some tea and a little bit of the crumpet.
Okay.
And ask how Lena slept.
She says, I'm sleeping good. I'm getting used to the vibration of the ship. I'm not used to that at all, and that was rough the first night.
I'm glad you're getting over that.
Okay,
nice talk.
Okay.
No, sorry. Good. You were going to say.
She says, did they find what they were looking for? They said they were spending an awful lot of time on it.
I was running through my music library, and I don't know. I hope they found what they were looking for. I didn't know they were looking for something.
Okay. Hakru, you're up about this time. You've been sleeping for a while. So we're going to have Dodd and Lash kind of jet lagged, I guess. Like you guys have been able to pull off about 4 hours of sleep. When it comes across the thing, like we'll be touching down in about an hour.
Wake me up when we hit the ground. Wait, no, I need to be up before that. Okay. I guess I'll get up.
All right. Lash getting up too, or is she gonna? Okay.
Yeah, she's actually going to go, and now that she knows this, her general destination with this map, she's going to go and mention it to Lena. She's going to go and talk to Lena again. Not for that purpose. It's going to come up in conversation, but she's going to go in there and seek more training and or practice for the Force while she's got this little bit of time. At this point, I guess she doesn't know if Lena's going to be staying with them much longer, so she's pressed to get as much knowledge out of her about the Force.
Okay.
And then she wants to show her that map.
Okay. She doesn't really have more to give. After 3 days of being with her, she's kind of expressed everything that she's been taught, which wasn't a lot from her grandmother. It seemed like her grandmother wasn't around a lot, but when she was, she would teach her a little bit, but it was never like training or anything like that. So,
okay.
You think you've glimmered most of the stuff out of her, and you also think that your use the Force ability is already kind of better than hers. So,
okay.
All right. Hour goes by, food's put up, and she sort of packed up her stuff in the meantime as well.
Did she make any heads or tails of the location we were talking about or the map?
She looked at it and she thought it was interesting, but there's not much, interest beyond that. Other than being old and maybe a nice decoration for a wall, that sort of thing, but nothing in depth. Okay, so ship comes out of hyperspace and the stars come back as the planet jumps forward, and you guys, Nanot flips a switch on the dash that's just recently installed, and he says there's, from what he can see on the elliptical of the planet, there is a craft in orbit. Yeah, and he saw it definitely as soon as you guys came out. He says,
seen us yet?
No, and he says, let's see if we can
Let's go counter the.
sneak down.
Let's go the opposite direction from them and see if we can use the planet as cover.
Yeah.
Are there any other satellites, moons, any of
No.
that stuff?
No, okay. I wanted. Was there a moon? I can't remember if there was a moon in the first episode or not.
Is there? No, I think it was just like asteroids and stuff out there that they came out from behind.
Yeah.
Are they close enough with the skill that Lashara has, where if she used the Force and reached out, that she would be able to determine anything on the ship?
Let's see. That would be.
Distances are part of it.
Yeah.
But they're pretty big distances, even though.
Yeah. You're probably, well, I guess it'd be the same system. So it'd be a 20. Yeah, you could reach out and see if you could get anything from the others.
Okay. All right, we'll try. Nothing.
Okay.
I don't know, 2.
Okay. All right, you're trying, and it just doesn't seem like you can project out as far as you need to. And let's see, Nanot's going to roll for stealth. All right. Does pretty good. Let's see what theirs is. All right. All right. He seems to gun the engines, and then he turns the engines off, so you guys start coasting in. He says, let's see if we can sort of make it close enough that we can start the landing cycle while we're in the atmosphere. He says if the engines are off and everything and we're just going in a single line, that should make us look like space debris. So he starts shutting off everything, basically with life support. All the lights go down, that sort of stuff. And the engines turn off, and it's a really weird feeling to be in a ship with no rumbling or no vibration or anything like that. But it's real quiet. Eventually you guys see the ship. It's kind of goes beyond around the back of the moon, and you guys start hitting atmosphere for a little bit, and he starts flipping engines back on and everything powers up. Yeah, it's fine. And he starts the landing cycle. He says, where do we want to land? We can land where we landed last time, or we can get closer to the refugees where we think they're at.
Let's get to the refugees, but let's avoid the settlement if we can.
Okay.
Let's take the long way around so that we avoid them noticing us.
Okay.
If we can.
Lash says, I don't recommend landing in the same place
Okay.
or
All
near
right.
the same place.
Okay. So he's going to go in low. He basically goes straight in and then levels out. And he's not going to go over the city or the town where they were at. And he's just going to sort of kind of do like a small search to try and find them. If anybody else is up front and they want to use perception, you can use that. Because basically it's just eyeballing, looking for people.
Hmm. 16.
I
Okay.
also have a 16.
All right. 15, 30.
No, 25, sorry.
Oh, that's much better. Yeah, about the time you and Nanat both point in one direction, you see a small glimmer, and he veers the ship in that direction, still flying low and kind of slowing down. Eventually, you come to an area, and you almost have to get on top of it before you recognize that you found them. They've got lots of tarps and stuff that look like the surrounding ground, and they start flapping once you get up close, and then you get set down. And he says, we're here over the intercom system. I don't know if we want to unload all the food now or we want to wait till we've dealt with the thugs and then unload the food.
We need to unload now because all of our equipment is locked in by the food stuff.
Okay.
I recommend we see
What
if
do we-
they have a secure storage place for these supplies before
They're
we proceed.
They're basically in tents, basically. It's because they left in a hurry, so there's no structures. It's like Arabic tents. There's nothing huge about them. They're kind of sprawled out and flat. So they have no furniture, barely cookware with them, that sort of thing. So if you
Can
wanted
we
to,
gather up a whole bunch of people, unload it, get our stuff out, load it back up?
yeah, or you could take your time and unload it in certain areas to get to stuff, and then load it back up if you need to. Just take a little extra time.
We've got that hauler, so I mean, we could easily load that up, move a full load of that out of the way, and
Yeah.
see what space that gives us.
Yeah. Yep. It takes a little bit. I have no idea what you guys would be rolling to figure this out to make it speed up or slow down.
Intelligence, because Tetris.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just do a straight up intelligence check.
I think Seth should do it because it was his idea.
Well, I rolled a natural 20 for once.
Oh, there you go.
Yay!
He starts
Yeah.
directing people in certain directions because he saw where things were going in.
He's really motivated to get to that E-web.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I'd say in about an hour, you've dug out the E-web, the loader, and both speeder bikes.
Nice.
So
And now to put it back.
and a lot of stuff's being put back in that they don't need. They've also gone through whatever was pulled out to restock their food. Since they kind of hurried up and got out, they had they didn't take everything with them, basically. So it's about an hour later, and you guys everything's kind of going back in. Let's see what time of the day it is.
Would it be safe to assume that they've taken enough of the foodstuffs off and crates off that we can easily walk through that area and put the speeder bikes and E-web in a handy location?
If you want them to somehow bury or just offload, otherwise it's going to have to go back in Tetris style.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of imagine it going back in Tetris style once again, because honestly, the ship does seem like the best and most secure place to hide the food.
Yeah.
But I mean, like now that we have the space and we're organizing it, I mean,
Yeah.
it all fit in there anyways. We can now refit it so that the
Yeah.
speeder bikes and E-Web.
Are at the cargo bay doors.
So have we met up with them?
Yeah, they're all there.
Okay.
They've been helping
So-
unload it and everything. So
So Lashara is going to go and find. What was the guy's name that we talked to originally?
Panna. Panna.
Yeah. And see, Dodd, you can come with me too because you've been in on the negotiations with them. To see if they have somewhere that we could bury these supplies or something for protection. I mean, this is their world; they know it better than we do. See if any of these people have any ideas.
The city, the town, sits on kind of like a little plateau of rock that's a little bit above the water table sandy level. So if anything needs to be buried, it can be buried, but you got to make sure it doesn't get wet because basically you start digging and it turns into slop.
Okay, and there's no caves around that we could bring the ship to put them, even if we have to travel a bit.
Not that you know of. This place is pretty flat for the most part. It's like a big sand ball almost with a few areas that are raised. It looks like any mountains that were there were worn down into sand and it's kind of dispersed evenly. I believe.
I am not a tactical genius, but while we're looking at all of this stuff, does anything strike me as a good place to have a standoff with the Thug Brigade?
Talking to Panna, he says that the town of Adan is probably the best place because that's where they're going to come first.
Okay.
So setting up an ambush in the town would be easier because there's still structures there that you can kind of hide in or set up booby traps and things like that.
So I'm going to break down what it is that our plan is with them. I'm going to ask Lashara to help me translate it. But essentially, I'm going to explain we've got handguns, we've got a large weapon, we've got this ship and its guns, and that's what we have for weapons.
Okay.
What we have for tactical knowledge, we're going to have to figure it out because I'm not that guy. But I can tell you that once we get this accomplished, either we make enough of a threat that they leave you alone, or we eliminate them wholeheartedly. There's other complications that may occur, and that is that these guys are tied to a larger network of gangs.
Panna says he votes for taking out most of them and maybe sending one person back to tell them to leave them alone.
Okay.
Or taking them all out. I mean,
I'm telling you, this may not work.
he thinks if you take them all out, they're going to send more people. But
yes,
if they don't know what's happening to them, then they may eventually stop if it's too much of a drain on resources.
Right. Also, we've lined up a company that's going to put together a structure inside of your homes that will be subterranean that will grow food for you so you can gain some amount of self-sufficiency.
He looks shocked. That would be amazing. We wouldn't have to rely on a system of basically selling everything we have just to survive.
You should be able to turn a profit.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Sorry, go ahead.
And possibly building up the town of Adan with, walls or sturdier structures or anything like that. It would be nice.
I'll let Lashara talk. She's more eloquent than I am.
She says she has like a flash of brilliance and asks them about their mining operation. This ore, do they make subterranean caves and stuff? Is it a mining like that, or is it like an extraction of liquid? Like what is this mining like here?
Basically, what it is there are shallow pools where this mineral grows out of, and they just harvest it basically.
Okay.
So it's kind of like rice paddies where all of these gypsum-looking materials are all coming out in different areas. It looks like a mini Krypton from the first and second Superman movies.
Okay.
So, and they just go in, and when they're big enough, they harvest them when they're the right size and cut them down if they need to, and ship it off. Where then I think it's ground up and put into the plasticrete, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So she tells them that their goal here is to make them, or give them the supplies to be self-sufficient, so long as they can turn the Tatari away for now. And as Don was saying, there's a setup here for a bigger, better, more frequent profit, especially if they're not having to pay dues for quote unquote protection.
Right. He says, eventually going to the other city or the other town and kicking them out from there may be the best overall process, since they've sort of dug in there. Because I don't think the people are appreciative of what they've been doing to their town since they took over. At first, they kind of sent someone in, and they were charismatic and saying, making all these promises, and now they're in. The mayor, that lady's not pulling her weight. It's a mess. So the town may be happy to have them gone to. I can't think of the name of the town. It starts with a G. Garia. Yeah. So getting them out of there and getting them off planet may be the best end game for them. Where it's just, again, if it takes too much resources to hold this little tiny mud ball, which isn't producing a lot for them, then maybe those lose interest.
Well, and she tells them that she tells Panna, well, we're doing all I can on our front, but there's just the 5 of us, really, and I don't know if we're quite the group to wage war. We'd be our best help for you is supplies and profitability. Is there anything that you can do with any of the other towns around, or the people that you might have to ensure your own protection from this point forward?
He thinks that if you destabilize them from Ghana, that it'll be easier for them to disrupt them. So maybe if stopping them now, they could send word to the other city. There's only like 2 cities on this whole freaking planet, and they can start working on ousting them. And it may take some sort of showing up at and telling them to leave, or leading a revolt or something like that to get them out. Because right now, bullying a tiny little town of 50 isn't taking more than like 10 people to do, but a city of 10,000 people, that's a lot different. That's why they went in all subversive and diplomatic, basically.
Sure.
And especially if this tour is taking off, that's also something that those people in that town mine as well. So it could really boost their economy as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we've got about 30 people that are willing to try to use blasters and things like that to do what we need to do. And they would like to be trained, if they could, to be able to hold them off if you guys leave and they come back, that sort of thing.
Well, I will speak with Jad and Hakru and maybe Dodd, and see if there's any kind of training that we can provide as a group. I don't know how much time we have, but we'll do everything we can.
Right. It would be basic stuff. I mean, some of these people have never even picked up a blaster before, so.
So there's Dodd with one of these guys, and he's like, "Okay, it's like this."
So, but most of them can probably pick it up pretty quick. It's not. They won't be shooting, apples off people's heads and stuff, but
Yeah.
they could be laying down cover fire easily for somebody who's much more adept.
I'm hearing the.
Training going on right now.
Yeah.
Are we like fortifying the town at all? I don't know that there's much we could do there, but
Does any one of us have any kind of real tactical knowledge? Like,
I mean, I have some.
Not a soldier among you.
No.
Yeah, I
But
have.
listen, I saw this movie, I saw this hollow vid. It was called The Seven Jedi. They used these laser swords, but they set up a town to beat these thugs. I bet we could do it just the same way they did.
I mean, her crew actually has like survival training with primitive weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could easily teach some people how to spot a good hiding place and how to ambush.
Yeah. And I think most of you have weapons proficiency in pistols.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So-
We've got those. I'm just like thinking like in terms of defense, like basically a crew can teach people how to ambush
Yeah.
very effectively.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going from 0 level to 1, so they get feats and stuff. So,
Yeah, I can teach them how to use a pistol and a blade theoretically.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of practice.
yeah.
Yeah. Her crew's let's see here. Her crew could teach them stealth, survival, endurance, because
Yeah.
apparently I'm trained in that.
I can teach them how to gather information. Oh,
So, it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do everything we can.
He says he's willing to go back to the town and help set up defenses and take the 30 people and we could train them there. That way they
how many
know.
blasters did we get?
That I don't remember.
I
I thought it was 24, but I'm not sure.
Hold on. I can-
25.
25.
Okay.
Yep. We have 6 thermal detonators, 25 blaster pistols, and the E-Web that is now working.
Okay. So you got 5 extra people that could be running energy clips to people if they need to and stuff like that. Or
We should teach someone how to regulate the E-Web so we can set Jad up somewhere and effectively make a kill box.
yeah.
Good call. Good
Yeah.
call.
Or you could take 2 of them and they could both help the other person. So
Yeah, 2 of them,
Yeah, but then
whatever it
Jack
takes.
doesn't get to do the E-Web, and I think he's really looking forward to doing the E-Web.
Oh, I'm shooting it.
Oh yeah, no, he's shooting it. I'm trying to make a proxy assistant for him.
right.
Yeah.
Can
I
we
think
build
that's a
like
good call.
the 4 panels that just go so that it's just him with it?
Yeah.
And,
It's like you guys start talking about setting up an ambush, and this is how crew goes. So what we want to do is we want to set up this thing called a kill box. We want to set the E-Web up over there on high, so when they come down the main road over here, which is where we're going to funnel them, and then over here we're going to down low we're going to set up some men with some pistols. We're going to hide them. Like all of a sudden, just like the crew. What the fuck?
Okay. So we're ready to go. We can head back to the town and start setting up. And since it's almost 10, we can kind of cut it here. And the map is on Obsidian Portal. You guys could look that up and kind of figure out where you want things to be put up, where you want people with hand grenades to be, or the thermal detonators. And
kind of feel like the thermal detonators should be on the road to the entrance of the town so we can blow them as they approach it.
they're grenades, so you'd have to figure out a way to be able to trigger them.
Right. They're either so right now.
it said that we could remote trigger them. Is that something we get a mechanic up?
You would probably have to, yeah.
Okay.
That's something the crew and Leto could work on.
Because I think it's something you just turn on and then you throw it, and then you have so many seconds after that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
On default, all grenades have either on impact
Yeah.
or time delay, and the time delay is like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, let's see. Thermal
not very
detonators.
So it's basically, does it explode this turn or does
Right.
it explode next turn? Like that's the time delay on a grenade.
Let's see.
Which effectively means like if we set up some kind of thing where it's like I push a button where someone could push a button and they just blow up underneath it, you'd effectively need to like set it up so it's like so they're set to go like on impact and like I don't know like a nail just like hits the grenade
Right.
and sets it off, something like that.
A thermal detonator's timer can be set from 6 seconds 1 round to as high as 18 seconds delay 3 rounds, counting down until it explodes or is reset to a safe position. When you make an area attack, you make a single attack in the attack roll and compare the result to the reflex defense of every target. The grenade's 4-foot square burst. Creatures hit take full damage. Creatures miss take half. Target with evasion takes half damage from a successful attack and no damage from if the attack misses. So that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, if you, I like the buried idea. I guess like how much time do we have before showdown?
You still have
I
a
think
couple
we gotta-
days.
Yeah, I was
days?
gonna say, I think we get to attract their attention.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
have them come running after us, which would be somebody on a speeder, I'm guessing. Although, if we were really clever, maybe we insinuate ourselves into the town and get them to fight them if they retreat.
Yeah.
What if we made a show of unloading more food?
Yeah. They definitely want to have their piece of the pie, as it were, right?
And
Or we could be really, really daring and send in a forward attack party to sabotage something at their town before they get here.
Like blowing up all their bikes outside their biker bar kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, that sounds perfect.
Then they have a 1.5 day walk all the way to the town.
Yeah, you could do that. Nanette comes up and has a huge, long rifle with a scope on it. And he says, "I'm here. I can shoot things from afar."
Oh. Well, I was
the crew looks down at his rifle, which is just a blaster carbine with a scope, looks at Nanoots and just
His is
not
definitely.
always about size.
It's about range. And he grins, but it looks like he's baring his teeth like.
he smiles like a Rottweiler
Yeah.
smiles.
Yep.
Cool.
I still wish I knew how to say Shivanestian.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm giving up.
Chauvinistic? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's totally my way. My way. Anyway. Cool.
All right, yeah, so we'll do this big battle on the next. We'll work out the tactics of this and
Yep.
go on forward.
This has been a production of Gaming Without Gaming, all rights reserved. Visit us at gamingwithoutgaming.com. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/gamingwithoutgaming. Title music is by Greg Braun. Find him on soundcloud.com/Clara7. That's KLARA-7. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Gaming Without Gaming logo music is by Kevin MacLeod.